Hello, I'm Neil Deely, co-founder and partner at Architects and Urban Planners Metropolitan Workshop. Welcome to this special episode of Reshaped, a podcast series to mark our 15th year and recording perspectives on how the built environment is changing and needs to change in this historic moment. We asked leading thinkers and doers to respond to issues highlighted by coronavirus while we were in the throes of change and memories and perspectives are fresh. In this episode, we reflect on what our guests have told us. Has the door opened to a new era? We think so. Over the course of our podcast, our speakers have provided us with generous insights into the many ways in which they see the future changing, mostly for the better. And I'll try and do justice to some of their ideas here. The pandemic has shown how adaptable and innovative we are, how fast we can change and act together when threatened. It has reawakened our interconnectedness, as environmental guru Puran Desai puts it, with the environment and with each other, across streets, towns, regions, and national borders. It's concentrated our minds on thinly concealed inequalities that have been starkly revealed, and accelerated the prospect of positive change, drawing the future closer. We have a new lens through which we can see our collective future. Brand new perspectives on almost every aspect of life, but in separating us from each other and from the many things we took for granted, it's elevated our needs, relegated our wants, and revealed some new threats. It has heightened the appeal for some of life's simplest pleasures: holding hands, being with others. While our physical and digital lives have been polarized, the draw of the real has been intensified, while the appeal of the virtual has been diminished. Our instinct for social contact and our desire for access to the natural environment, to explore, to roam, has been stirred. We are, as planner and regeneration practitioner Mary Parsons reminded us, above all, social creatures. Dublin politician TD Gary Gannon highlighted the redundancies that have been revealed. The spare space and bad behaviours which the restrictions of the pandemic have rendered ridiculous. Remember all that dashing about in overcrowded streets? Some of it seems quite pointless now. The vibrant city we planned and strove for had begun to consume itself. Foaming like the lattes it was fueled by, its just-in-time reliance was always only a pulled emergency handle away from congestion and chaos. Everything was forced to work at full tilt. You could feel the stress in the system. Cities, certainly London, were beginning to feel as though the only way to grow was up. Space was short and time even shorter. But the pandemic has been a fallow period in which to reevaluate and reprogram their fabric and systems, recovering fertility and hopefully seeding a more equitable future in which the suburbs can be rediscovered while the centre is reimagined. The redundancies and spare capacities that emerged in the pandemic can be redirected and re-employed. Spare road spaces can be greened as a flock of new productive lowlines. Suburban high streets can become more local. Less clone town, more hometown. All sorts of local opportunities driven by more productive city regions might finally halt the longshore drift of talent from north to south. And now that economic opportunity can be accessed digitally, there's no need to get on your bike. Big box shops need to be converted into more creative work hubs and flexible venues catering for an explosion of cultural expression and community congregation, as Social Life founder Nicola Bacon imagines. Retaining old value in creating the new while supporting what's already working for people. Landscape designer Suzanne O'Connell pointed out that our motivations for moving into cities are going to be more for social interaction and recreation and less about shopping and working. This could have a profound impact on the transport systems we built to cater for commuter life as it was. Maybe we'll get a seat in the future. Planner Peter Bishop spoke about the threat of polarisation, city centres becoming expensive places for the creative elite to rub shoulders, and the suburbs for lower-skilled home workers. HSBC Bank is giving up 40% of its city centre office space, for example. But there could just as easily be an inversion of that. A new era of suburban rediscovery could emerge, driven by the benefits of communal living and sharing that Berliner Michael Lafonders championed. The more walkable, healthier, greener and more supportive neighbourhoods that Homes England chair Peter Freeman called for, and demanded by the more engaged and tech-enabled democracies of the kind Mayor Roxana Fiaz is pioneering in Newham. Re-energised suburbs that for the first time are no longer dormitories, with more meaningful and direct engagement and more responsive local planning policies that urban strategist Daisy Froud calls for. Perhaps greenbelts will get used more intensively for more homegrown food production. And perhaps COVID could be the catalyst for the mother of all inventions, a regenerative and restorative new social contract between communities and, for the meantime, our one and only planet, where our better conscience drives more morally viable market economics towards one planet living. Tech has some way to go before its benefits outweigh its maintenance. But we've just made very big digital strides at lightning speed, which demonstrated our adaptability and our appetite for change. No doubt blockchain and other tech innovations will help deliver a fairer economic and ecological system that better directs scarce resources. But can we harness AI intelligently? With a digital thread, as tech futurist Abel Maciel puts it, to encode regenerative policies in everyday actions, in energy, in travel, in sustainable food choices. Hardwiring for a sustainable future. A digital vaccine protecting us from our own excesses, establishing a value system that rewards our good choices. Having tackled a major existential threat in a mere 12 months. What else can we fix collectively and with the same sense of urgency? Periods of crisis are followed by periods of intense energy and creativity. Where should this energy be focused? Where do many of these issues begin and end? Well, where we live. So perhaps housing is what we should fix next. Making these podcasts with the team has been hugely stimulating for all of us, and really good therapy during lockdown. We didn't prompt our contributors to be upbeat about the future at all, but most of them were. Our species sustains itself by always looking on the bright side. The pandemic stimulated our survival instincts and triggered our more positive reflexes. When the going got tough, we got going. Thank you to everyone who has provided such positive feedback on these podcasts. And thank you for listening. Oh, and please stay tuned. Our world is being reshaped, and we may well be making a few more of these. You can listen to other podcasts in the Reshaped series at all the major providers, or go to our website, metwork.co.uk. Series directed by Lee Mallet, produced by David Michon and Justina Green, recorded and edited by Sean Crook.